Hello, viewers. Welcome to KASPORTS Boxing. It's Obeko Fubesi Jr. Today, I'll be here again with my co-host, the Boxing Doc. He's in France, and he'll bring us all the Olympic updates. And so, stick and stay with us. Don't go too far. And it's the Monday Boxing Madness, where we bring in nothing but the best in the news or the best in things that's happening in the world of boxing. We'll talk about the fight highlights today. Briefly, we'll also talk about boxing news, so the items that are making the news around the world as far as boxing is concerned. And of course, I also talk to you about the fight schedule coming up this weekend. Brilliant card coming up this weekend that you can miss. Virgil Ortiz is in the news, and of course, the Top Rank side as well have a very exciting card that I also talk to you about as well. I'm going to take my first breather, and when I come, we'll go into the fight highlights, and then we'll continue from there as soon as we take this breather. Don't go too far. Stick and stay with me. All right, so before I dive into it, I would just like to let you know that we are big on all our social media platforms. Please, I would like to invite you to go to our YouTube channel and let's go subscribe. It's KASPORTS Boxing. You also go on Twitter. It's the same KASPORTS Boxing as well. Follow us on there as well. We are also on Facebook and on Instagram as KASPORTS Boxing. Just jump on all the social media platforms and then make sure you follow us. So that anytime you come on here to come discuss things that's happening in the world of boxing, you'll be first to get notified and also to follow and then to get to know what's happening in the world of boxing. Let me jump straight into the fight highlights. Like I said, so over the weekend we had like Terence Crawford return, to make his debut in 157, and then of course, just as we all expected, he was able to get the job done. He secured a victory. After 12 rounds of boxing, he got a unanimous decision against Israel Madrimov. I mean, it was a very good fight. It could have gone either way, but the most important thing is that we were able to get a winner at the end of the night. Usually, yeah, if it could have been a draw, and it could have been a win for Terence Crawford. I think he did enough to be able to get a victory on the night. So yeah, a huge congratulations to the man himself. Who's now a forward division world champion. I mean, it's fair to say that he's really, really chasing greatness. After the victory against Errol Spence, he has come short of nothing but, going all the way out to be able to, cement his name in the history of boxing. And so, huge congratulations going to him for getting the win. Also, another fighter that was in the news that everybody was expecting him to get the win was Isaac Cruz. But unfortunately, he didn't get a fight. Sorry, he didn't get a win. But we got a very huge upset in the name of Jose Venezuela. He beat his fellow Mexican Isaac Cruz by a split decision. I mean, it was a very close call. And now he is the WBA junior welterweight champion. So huge congratulations going out to Jose Venezuela for being able to, go all out, to beat the favorite on the night. He was able to beat the favorite on the night to be able to secure his title. So a huge congratulations going out to Jose Venezuela for getting that victory that will set him up for bigger things in the junior welterweight division. But mind you, after the fight, of course, Cruz said that he didn't feel like the result was a fair result, and so he's pushing that he'll be able to get a rematch. Regardless of what happens, I think the two of them fighting again will be like a very exciting fight because the fight itself was very exciting, and I can't wait to see it twice if they can make it happen. So yeah, congratulations to Venezuela for getting that win. Also, when we leave there, we'll go to the heavyweight division. There was a fight that's on the card that everybody was excited to see, especially Andy Ruiz, because he's been out for close to about 2 years now. And then he go back into the ring on Saturday night. He took on Jamel Miller, an opponent where everybody felt like it should have been an easy win for the former unified heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz. But unfortunately, it was a very close fight, a very controversial result, because even when the interviewers asked Turkey who he felt like he won, he said he felt like the results should have been given to Miller because he did enough, and I also agree with it as well, because yeah, we didn't really see much of Andy Ruiz like we've seen, but it was after the fight where we all realized that the reason why we didn't see what we were expecting to see. So Andy Ruiz had an injury, or he sustained an injury in round 5, and he had to fight through the injury to complete the 12 rounds. And so based on that, we have to give him like a lot of credit for it. He did a lot by fighting with all the pain that he had as the fight was progressing. But yeah, sometimes the judging and the scoring of a fight is always controversial, and I think this is one of those fights where after the fight, like, yeah, the results came out and a lot of people were like, "Woo," because yeah, 116, 112, and then 114, 114, and then 114, 114. So it was a split draw. Oh, sorry, a majority draw after the two of them like engaged like in the fight that they had. So that is it coming on from the way of Andy Ruiz and Chamel Miller. That was how the fight ended as well. And then one fight that I would say like um, I would say a fight that like a lot of people was expecting the American Dream, or and heavyweight that's been built up to become like the American Dream to be able to dominate the heavyweight division. Unfortunately, he was not able to get a victory like last night. I'm talking about Miller. Sorry, Jared Anderson. I mean, unfortunately, I mean, Martin Bakole really, really showed that he wasn't here to play, and his first opportunity in America on the Riyadh season card, he really showed that he's really ready to play in the heavyweight division. Let me show you a clip of how he knocked out Jared Miller. Sorry, Jared Anderson, and then we'll take it away from there. So from this fight, right from round 1, Bakole dominated it. Right from round 1, he dominated. He knocked him down, I think, 3 times before he eventually stopped him in round 5 to end the night. So big congratulations to the Congolese fighter, for making Africa proud. Of course, his people in Wales were also like Scotland was also happy to see him back in the ring and also securing the victory on there. So Bakole, by this victory, he has sort of cemented his name and setting himself up for some of the big fights that will happen in the heavyweight division. I mean, for a very long time, he's been calling some of these names already, and we hope that after this victory, probably they will give him the opportunity that he's looking for. But a big, big congratulations to the man himself, Bakole, for securing the win. And in Ghana, one fighter that everybody has eyes on, or felt like will really go up there to be like a world champion for Ghana, but got a setback when he took on the Nigerian in Ghana. Like talking about I'm talking about Basti Samir. I mean, he suffered a severe setback in his career when he took on the Nigerian fighter, when the Nigerian fighter knocked him out. But this weekend he was back in action in Togo. Sorry, in Aflao, and then he was able to get away. So huge congratulations going out to him as well for being able to secure the win. Also, other Ghanaians, young prospects were also on that particular card as well. Mohamed Aite also got a win, and then Theophilus Alote also got a win as well. So these two guys have been able to I'll say shake off the ring rust and also setting themselves up, and I would say like getting like the activity going so that they will be able to get that big fight, so that we will be able to get some heavyweight or sorry some names to dominate boxing in Ghana like we have all hoped. So yeah, huge congratulations going out to Mohamed Aite and also to Theophilus Alote for being back, and also securing the win as well. So those are the things that happened these are the fights that happened over last weekend, and I think the other fights that I haven't spoken about, but I feel like we could go deep into. I will just pause on it because I have Doc also on the line that we have to talk about the Olympic Games and then the things that are happening like in Paris as far as like Olympic Games is concerned. So I'm going to end the fight highlights here, and then I'm going to zoom in directly into fight schedule, and then we will just talk about the fights that are going to come up this weekend that I feel like you should follow. First is the return of Virgil Ortiz. So Ortiz will be back in action. He'll be taking on Sergio Bohachuk, in the super welterweight 12 rounds for Bohachuk's title. So the WBC title is on the line. Virgil Ortiz will be looking to be able to secure this title, and of course, Dolahora has always said that he's the next big name. So of course he has like a very huge task around like ahead of him. We're going to see how this particular fight goes, and also on the top rank side, we have the return of Lindolfo Delgado. He will take on Brian Flores in the super lightweight 10 rounds in the 10-round super lightweight contest. Also, we also have the return of Lopez. So Lopez will be taking on Angelo Leo in the 12 rounds for Leo's IBF title. Also a very good fight. I don't think you should miss, like stake and stay as well. And then on the boxing news, things that are making the news is that finally we've been able to secure a date where Cartel will take on Progress. The two will face off in October 26th. The first date that came up has been cancelled, so now they have we have a new date coming in. So yes, Cartel versus Progress has finally been cemented or rescheduled to October 26th. Make sure that you'll be able to get the opportunity to watch this fight as well. On fight news, Turkey, I said that he's trying to make the Canelo versus Crawford fight happen, and if it doesn't happen, he will see whether he'll be able to get him a fight against Virgil Ortiz. So these are the two names that are being, proposed or being speculated, or being proposed by to Canelo to Crawford to fight in the future. So if we are not able to get a fight versus Canelo, then it means he'll be able to fight like Virgil Ortiz. This is what Turkey is suggesting, and then Shakur Stevenson is also being rumored to take on like William Sabata, on the Riyadh season card. We all remember that Shakur is almost on the verge of signing with Matchroom Boxing, and if that happens, it means that definitely we will see him on the Riyadh season events, because of course we see how Eddie has been pushing on that particular side. Now I'm waiting for my co-host to join in the name of Doc, and then we will discuss or we talk about some Olympic sports, Olympic boxing. But in the meantime, I just want to throw some light on this particular fight and just congratulate these two men for giving us a very good fight, Andy Ruiz and Darrell Miller. It was an exciting and entertaining fight. I think they really went all out to be able to give us one of the fights where boxing fans were very excited about. And now I have the boxing Doc back on. I'm going to put him right here. Doc, good evening.
Good evening, Coffee.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm alive and well.
Nice. Good to see you. And there's been a lot of action going on in the world of boxing. At the Olympic Games, we've both been following it keenly. And today I'll have you back on. But I want us to talk about this first. The fact that at the moment we only have one African representing or still in the race to get us any medal at all. The Cape Verdean and David Pina lost. The Moroccan Kadi Mahdi also lost. And now the only person who we have in there is Algeria's Imani Khelif. And before we talk about the fact that she's the only one left, I mean, how has been the euphoria in the camp as far as like boxing is concerned, and in the at the Olympic village?
So I think that obviously there were some big countries that were expected to do well that haven't done as expected.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people, some it's competition, and some lose, some win. But we
Mm-hmm.
are in the semi-final stages, so
Mm-hmm.
the assumption is that the best have stayed. However, there have been several controversial calls
Mm-hmm.
that were made. As a matter of fact, some referees and some judges are being sanctioned.
Yeah.
Prior to that, prior to even the Olympics, this bad officiating has been plaguing amateur boxing for a long time.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
we were thinking that with a little bit of changes in the organization and the IOC taking care of it, some of these things will not happen. But the truth is that is these same officials that were doing the old organization. They
Yeah.
just choose whom they think is not corrupt.
Yeah.
But so there have been some bad officiating there, but you can't say that it's always bad officiating, especially with boxing where it's an individual sport. You got to bring your own referee so that you
Mm-hmm.
don't leave anything
Without
out
question.
there for the
Yeah. Correct.
judges. So I would just say the best are ready, starting the semifinals,
Mm-hmm.
starting the semifinals tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's excitement, it's nervousness for some,
Mm-hmm.
but we are looking forward to it. Um, Hopefully, for some of us, those countries that we support will make it through to gold.
Let me ask, how many Americans are in contention to compete tomorrow? Because I know you are
Well,
definitely.
we have one person still
Okay.
in the medal zone. He goes in tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's going to fight in the evening tomorrow. So America has one person still in medal contention.
And for us Africans, in Africa, we have like the most talked about fighter in the whole Olympics, I'll say. Imani Kelev in also in contention for a medal. I mean, what do you make of his performance so far at the Olympic Games?
Well,
Considering all the things that is happening and psychologically and everything.
there's a lot to unpack there, and if there are any listeners that are
Mm,
on, we welcome you to join with your comments.
yeah.
For Khalif, there's a lot to unpack. Until recently, I mean, I didn't even know about her like that. Or if I knew about her, I didn't know there was any controversies surrounding her gender
Mm-hmm.
or her advantage in the sport until recently.
Yeah.
Um, while we don't have the time to delve into it, I just feel like as an athlete, regardless of what people are claiming, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
have an effect on her.
Yeah. Correct.
So you must be strong minded to be able to get where she has gotten. And I mean, it's not like she was unbeaten fighting ladies all her boxing career.
Mm-hmm.
She had been beaten before a few times.
Mm.
Um, so I think that when I say it's a lot to unpack, it's a lot to unpack. Um, what I think is, and today cemented my personal belief, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't speak on any organization or any country or federation
Mm-hmm.
or group, but what I believe is that she was put in the limelight
Mm-hmm.
for political reasons. And today the International Boxing Association had
Mm-hmm.
a whole press conference in Paris over Khalif, yes, and the other lady. So it makes you wonder. I call it political grandstanding. How
Mm-hmm.
does a whole organization hold a press conference on
Mm-hmm.
two athletes?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
An
Yeah.
organization that is not even recognized by the
Organized.
IOC.
Yeah. Correct.
You it makes you understand a lot of people that are following the story do not have this political background
No,
of what has been going on,
correct.
and they stream it about in the early in the afternoon, so people don't know what is going on there. But for if you watch, she's had over 30 fights, and why come? How come it never came out? If that she was this or that
Mm-hmm.
until last year,
Mm-hmm.
and then now in the Olympics,
The
and a
Olympics.
whole. So there's a political undertone to all of this that people are not aware of.
Mm.
But I must say, as a continent, at least we got one in
We
there.
got one person in there that can bring us a medal.
And
So,
I say that as long as the organization committee clears her,
mm-hmm.
is their competition, is
Yeah.
their criteria, is
Mm.
their rules. Who
Mm.
am I to say otherwise? Let her
Right.
compete. Let her win gold.
Right.
And then so I'm happy for her. Um, at the right time, we will talk about disadvantages or advantages that she may possibly have based
Right.
on her medical or biological makeup.
Logical makeup. Yeah. Correct. Now the two other Africans that are out of the game or of the fight, David Pena, for instance. I mean, the Kivadian
Mhm.
guy. I mean, he's a huge prospect, isn't it? I mean, of course, that I mean, he lost Rio, but I think he's a huge prospect. Yeah, I think he's a fighter that needs to be held, or somebody that shouldn't. I mean, his career shouldn't end there, because for most African fighters, that's how it ends after Olympics. There's no like transition from the amateur to pro. I mean, if you were to recommend him or to talk about him, what would you say? After watching him at the Olympic Games.
David is going to do very well in the professional space if he keeps his work ethic and his style of fighting. I have seen him during this year, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's a potential world champion.
Yeah,
But as you know, the amateurs is different from the professional.
yeah.
The way they do it. I thought that his last fight, he could have done a little bit more than he had done.
Mm-hmm.
And when I watch him fight Chiemba,
Mm-hmm.
um, he really evaded him. Chilemba is a very powerful fighter whom, if he gets you with some of the overhands, he's
Mm-hmm.
a killer. But he was David was able to evade him. And I thought that he was going to do that on his next fight, but it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Stars make fight, right?
Correct.
Stars make
Correct.
fight. So what he did with Chinemba, it doesn't mean that he would have done with the same thing with his next opponent. And at that level of competition is very high. But I think overall, he's a good boxer. He's going to do well for Cape Verde and himself, and the professional world should keep an eye on him.
Yeah. 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 I mean, for I would say, if we take away Caliph, I'll say Africans like African dream of winning any medal, like it's in shambles. So like there's no hope that we'll be able to get any medal apart from yeah,
Khalif.
apart from the Caliph. Yeah, correct. So
Mhm.
after we haven't been done with the Olympic Games, right? But if you look at the boxing discipline so far, what would you say would be like your impression or the remark you make about the performance of all the Africans that competed on this Olympic Games? The performance hasn't yeah. What would you make of it?
Well, I would say that we started off on the wrong foot. Period.
Yeah, that's true.
With some controversies, some not even having to, some not
So
even having to step in the ring to
yeah,
fight.
yeah.
We started with us losing a spot right from the Nigerian boxer.
Yeah.
And then the Ethiopian couldn't replace. The Ethiopian that
He
was
couldn't
supposed to replace him couldn't come.
couldn't come.
Later found out that he said he wasn't getting support from his local organization committee, which
Okay.
I thought was madness. But I don't know how these things work, especially in other countries. But the
Mm-hmm.
whole Olympic chance,
I'm not
um,
sure.
the
It's
whole,
for me.
the whole
It's
Olympic chance,
bizarre.
yeah, the whole Olympic chance, and he says that he couldn't get the support. So we started, and then of course there was the Egyptian, that
Yeah.
didn't make weight,
No.
and then the
And
Nigerian that was taken out for
because of
apparently. So we started off on the wrong foot. We lost three chances
yeah,
before even
we
the people could
our first
compete.
top fight. You know,
Yeah,
it's very sad. I mean, if you look at it as a continent, I'm not saying like we should be able to get enough like medals or something, but at least the way we started is very very bad.
yeah, yeah. And I recently, not long ago, read from the Nigerian trainer that Cynthia has not been able to tell him specifically. Uh, the Cynthia has not been able to talk to him about what potentially could have happened, and then therefore he couldn't speak on behalf of Cynthia. So they are just waiting um, to see what will come out from the ITA, which is excuse me, it's a bit late here, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
signal I'm getting from the Nigerian camp is not great. But eventually all these things will come out
yeah, yeah,
because
definitely.
essentially they lost two boxes. They qualified three and lost two who didn't compete.
Yeah,
Something
yeah,
is not right about that, and we'll
yeah,
just wait till the facts play out.
right, right,
Okay,
right.
so those that could compete, I think that they essentially did their best.
Mm.
Again, there were some officiating issues. I remember, I don't know which fighter, but I remember screaming one of them was cheated. It was the lady, what's her name? Then we did a post on it that was clearly, I thought, was from the way it looked, that she was cheated.
Was cheated.
Um, so there were some of those, and
Mm-hmm.
then some of those we just couldn't compete. So it is what it is. Hopefully, if boxing it makes it into the uh, 2028
Yeah,
Olympics in Los
mm-hmm.
Angeles,
Yeah,
we will come better prepared, and
yeah.
some of these little things will not affect us. I'm talking about Bridget Imbabi of Dr. Congo, DR
Congo.
Congo. She
Okay,
was
okay.
eliminated from the round of 16, but she dominated her opponent.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
there are some of those there, and
yeah.
then some of those that just couldn't compete.
Correct.
Uh, but hopefully, I think we came with 26 boxers that
Mm-hmm.
had qualified,
Yeah.
and hopefully, so we turn the table around. Next
Mm-hmm.
time, there's a lot of world boxing, or I should say, there are a lot of tournaments and competitions out there. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, these amateurs will participate in some of them and get the international experience that is needed. So that when they come on big stages like this, believe me or not, there's stage fright even for some of the bigger countries. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. I agree. I mean, it's definitely stage fright could also be part of it. And now I was about to ask you this, but I think you already spoke about it. I was like, what pieces or what lessons are we going to take from this particular tournament or this Paris Olympics into like the LA 2028? If
I think, first of all, I think we a lot of the African federations
mm,
need to educate themselves if they
mm,
already don't know about what's going on politically within the boxing space of amateur boxing, or should I say
Mm-hmm.
Olympic style boxing? That's what they are
Yeah.
calling it.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have to educate themselves.
Mm,
Eventually, they have to pick a position,
mm,
because some of these political stuff that's going on between World Boxing, IBA, the IOC,
yeah.
it eventually affects things, and that is what
True.
is affecting um, 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 Khalif and the other lady right now,
Yeah.
because somebody said you are not good enough to be a woman to compete against. Somebody says, and then I'll use Nigeria again as an example.
Okay.
If if Nigeria was like halfway in, halfway out.
Yes.
Apparently, that now they are all the way in. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna eventually bring it to the question you asked, but cut it short.
Mm-hmm.
Internal political conflicts,
Yeah.
external political conflicts need
Mm-hmm.
to be resolved
Mm-hmm.
so that focusing on the athletes will be the priority.
Priority.
Because
Okay.
believe it or not, there is still internal in within the Nigerian boxing space, even though they are fully out there with world boxing. So
Yeah.
those political stuff unrelated to really boxing needs to be resolved, and then we focus on the boxing. Because I say that because if they are not resolved, we don't pick a
Mm-hmm.
side.
Mm-hmm.
Which of the competitions are you going to test yourself?
Hmm.
Are you going to IBA championships, or are you going to world boxing events?
Yeah.
So people
Simple.
need to choose, pick a side, and
Yeah.
stick with it. If you decide to choose world IBA, lovely,
Mm-hmm.
do their world championships, possibly make money, but
Mm-hmm.
you know that you are not going to go to Olympics.
Yeah.
If you do world boxing, you can do some of their 20 tournaments around, and then
Mm-hmm.
you can also go to the Olympics. So they need to pick and clear that politics stuff, and then
Yeah.
focus on the boxing. That will be what I feel like should be the immediate step, because the education of some of these things, it kills me. Like what not to take, or what to take for international competitions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I feel like if the teams or the organization is very intact, like for example, this is the coach, we are all behind the coach.
Mm-hmm.
There will not be another trainer doing
Mm-hmm.
some things that the head trainer may not know,
Yeah. I get what you mean.
which I think is part of some of the issues that was with Nigeria. But that is my personal opinion.
All right. I mean, one thing I want to throw out there is the fact that currently the IBA, which has been regulating sports or boxing for a very long time, has been questioned, or his reputation has come into question over the last period. I think last 3 to 4 years. And based on that, the IOC
Mhm,
has already like even made statement to say that they're not going to be. I mean, they are not going to be regulating boxing. And so what
mhm,
that means is that for athletes to qualify to the 2028 in Los Angeles means a new sanctioning body has been set up. That they didn't specifically say that we should go compete with the or go compete on the world boxing, but then they made it very clear that if before we can go to boxing will be added to the disciplines, a new um, sanctioning body has been set up where they would give them the opportunity for them to qualify fighters. This particular letter or news article or this bulletin was put out so that it clarifies a couple of things, especially how fighters will qualify to the Olympic Games. If you look at the last paragraph, or no, the last but one paragraph, it says that the IBA recognition has been withdrawn or was withdrawn by the IOC in 2023 following suspension in 2019. The withdrawal of recognition was confirmed by the Court of Arbitration for Sports, where the link has been sent for people to, or for anybody who's interested to go follow. And the IOC has made it clear that it needs the National Boxing Federation to reach a consensus around a new international federation in order for boxing to be included on the sports program of the Olympic Games early 2028. What this essentially means is that um, the national boxing federations, which are the local regulators of boxing in all the countries or separate countries, they need to be able to come around or form a new international federation. And we all know that a new federation is out now, which is like the World Boxing. And so I would say that organization is sort of rallying or trying to get the national boxing federations to join them so that they can form this consensus. And so once that is done, they'll be able to, lobby and then speak to the IOC or get IOC to be able to convince them that, hey, we've reached a consensus. I think we've all agreed that this is the sanctioning body which is going to like regulate our sports. And then from there, um, they'll be able to go to the Olympic Games to go compete in LA. So, guys, the reason why I'm pulling this document out is that we all know that boxing is like sort of at stake. Boxing is like boxing risk the chance of not making it to LA, in the next Olympic Games, and the sanctioning bodies the national boxing federations have a task or a role to play to make sure that this doesn't happen. What they have to do, or what you guys need to do, is that you have to be able to join a new international federation, which is sort of going to be recognized by the IOC as being transparent and also like having like no financial issues, surrounding them. And once these have been accepted, then it means that we'll be able to go for the Olympics come in 2028. So my advice, or what I'm trying to emphasize, is that I know many African countries have not made up their mind to join any sanctioning body yet. But what happens is that it goes a long way in risking the opportunity of fighters or of our boxers going to compete in the LA LA 2028 like Olympic Games. I really plead with all of you guys to make your mind well and join the right sanctioning body, which is like the World Boxing, so that we can be able to qualify our fighters to go into the Olympics. Mind you, for the ongoing Olympics in Paris, the way the fighters qualified was that the IOC like set up its own like committee to be able to let the fighters go compete at different places, and then in the process, the best were selected to go compete were selected to go represent their countries and compete in Paris. But the IOC has made up its mind that it's not going to do that no more. And with that being said, it's very important that the national boxing federations like take this upon themselves, make that bold decision that, hey, we are going to join this new organization, and then when we join this new organization, our hope of getting the IOC to recognize boxing and then include boxing in this in the Olympic Games in the next 4 years, it's like guaranteed. So guys, let's just if your national federation or national boxing federation is not aware of this, then they should I would say that they should go online, go on the IOC website, and then go see this information, because this is where I took it from. It's just right there. It's right on the IOC like website. I mean, cautioning like national boxing federations to be able to I'll say update them on what's going to happen in the next 4 years. All right, so guys, that's where I end my show for tonight. I can't have Doc back. I didn't have Doc back on the line again because I wanted to get his opinion on this particular letter that the IOC has put out there. I mean, it's a very, very like it's a very, very like serious thing that if care is not taken, it's very possible that we'll be able to go. We'll go to this next Olympic Games, and then boxing will not be included. Boxing, Doc, I was talking about the fact that boxing. I mean, the IOC has already put. If you go on the IOC website, it's there. It's not like something which is fabricated. It's just I would say like a news that they put out there to make people national boxing federations to know that something is happening, and if you guys don't take the right decision, boxing will be out of the Olympic Games come 4 years time. I mean, what do you What do you have to say to the other national boxing federation that have not joined the new sanctioning body, which is spearheading or campaigning, to be able to get people around them or the national federation around them to be able to get this boxing going in the next Olympic Games?
I think that we have beaten this horse a little bit, but we are just. I mean, if you want to go to the Olympics, it's straight up world boxing. And
Mm,
I keep saying this. I have said it to people personally and privately. I have said it in groups privately, especially in Africa, where our boxing federations are supported by the government. The
mm,
government is not interested in what money the boxers are going to win.
mm,
Especially, it's not like FIFA where they give big monies to the organization, like the country, the team, or
mm,
whatever.
mhm,
um, Boxing is an individual sport. So
mm,
if there are any prizes that will be won, the boxer is going to get it.
yeah,
So the alternative to the Olympics is prize fighting, which the IBA is offering. So I say that if you want to go to the Olympics, is world boxing. The IOC has said it. They are saying that basically world boxing needs a certain number of federations or countries to join. And once
mhm,
they join, they are probably going to recognize them.
yeah,
And hopefully, I think it will be hard for IOC not to have boxing on
mhm,
on the Olympics. Boxing is
mhm,
one of the oldest sports that has been in the Olympics forever, so it will be
mhm,
hard for them not to do. So I think that eventually they will move. They will move to have boxing on there, as long as, for all you know, I know the politics behind some of these things.
mhm, mhm,
They may have even encouraged the formation of a new organization
mhm. Yeah.
just so that they will have boxing in there.
Mhm,
So back to African federations, countries, governments will want their countries to be represented on the big
mhm,
stage of
yeah.
like the Olympics. So eventually, governments will force the hands of federations to join world boxing.
The question is
My, ad- my
whether government, like even many governments, even know of what's happening. That's the first question. Because sometimes you even go speak to the minister of you will be shocked that you even speak to the minister and say, "Hey, do you know what's happening in the world of boxing?" That the IOC says this. Many of them will be like, "We don't even know this."
especially if boxing is a small sport in the country
Yes,
and
yes,
nobody really cares about it.
yes, yes,
But
yes.
eventually they will find out, because when the Olympics are qualifications and things are going on, and somebody tells them your country cannot participate, it
Mm-hmm.
will ring a bell. But by then it may be too late.
It might be too
So
late.
what I'm saying is that eventually most African countries will join world boxing. So
Mm-hmm.
my question is, why wait?
Mm-hmm.
The interest of most African countries will be to be represented on the world stage and not about prize money. Knowing our leaders, they'll say if you want prize money, go 10 pro and go make money, not on that mature level. Because
Mm-hmm.
usually national teams are more for pride than anything. Because
That's correct.
even
Mm-hmm.
football, sometimes the football that has a name. Sometimes some of these players abroad are the ones that are sponsoring some of the things that the teams have to do. So
Yes.
let alone boxing. So it's about national pride, and I think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'll put this gem down in case nobody has heard of it. I heard from a, a kind of thing. The term is not coming, but I normally catch them and say Ghana idiom applications. So I'm
Oh, okay.
excited. I'm
Okay.
excited about that. We'll
Yeah.
see how that plays out. If it's going to happen, let's get on it right away. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Cool. So guys, that's it about it, and I really thank Doc for making time for making today's show. I mean, one thing that we haven't discovered, I think I should ask you the semifinals. If you look at it, I mean, which are some of the names that you think will be able to cruise through tomorrow?
Hey, I wouldn't use the word cruise through, because where we are right now, there've already been some big upsets where former gold Olympic gold medalists have are not making it.
That's
So
correct.
I think that's the beauty about the Olympics, because everybody brings their A game. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
live on past glories. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we shouldn't focus on the big names, but because anything is possible. But if you want, beginning the session tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
will be American Omari Jones,
Mm-hmm.
who is some fighting Uzbek. And I bring this up to say that following Omari, he's been all his fights that he won were very clean, and they were dominant, unanimous decisions. So I feel like he's a contender. He's
Okay.
going to fight. Um, is a big name, Isaac Kuja. I can't pronounce it,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
that's the American for you. And
Yeah.
then following on, they are going to be some big, I would say, big countries. From Mexico, like this, they have Verde Averas. He is also a big name out there, but anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything can happen, and I'm looking forward to it. It's all in the evening, so I'll be glued to it to see
Mm-hmm.
what happened. Now, I must say that where is he? There was a name that was in there that I wasn't expecting, and it was more about the country than the person. Like, let me see if I'll find it. I didn't even know that they do boxing in North Korea.
Oh, North Korea.
Yes, North Korea, man.
Okay.
So that goes to tell you. That goes to tell you that this year there will be no underdogs, because some
No.
of the favorites are even losing. But
Mm.
it's going to be exciting. It's going to be about 4 days where all the semis and will take place, and then
Mm.
we start going to the finals. But tomorrow,
Yeah.
um, it's going to be it's going to be packed. About yeah, I have about 8 bouts that will be going there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully at the end of the week or next week, we can catch up and talk about the finals. But there are
Right.
some countries that are known to be very good that are on there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised, especially Ka- the stand. I call them the stand countries: Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan.
Oh, yeah.
They
Yes.
are
Yes.
always
Yes. Yes.
they are always represented.
Yes.
And
Yes.
this year, US only has one person left,
That's
but the
like a
Chinese are a lot
yeah.
of Chinese boxers are up there too,
Yes, of
which
course. Tomorrow, I think.
surprising to me.
Yeah. The Chinese will take on like the Kazakhstan final in the women
Yep,
50 kg semifinals. And I
yep,
think
and then
Turkey will also take on Philippines also on that side. And then
mhm,
the 66 kilos we have Imani Kiev. We're going to take on the Thailand fighter, this Suwan Pingheng. And then another Chinese and then Taipei fighters who also face on us as well on the women's side.
yeah.
I think the
So
women,
so
yeah,
you have three Chinese in action tomorrow.
yeah, three
That's
Chinese.
huge for a
Yeah,
country,
that's true.
right?
Correct. I mean, these are names that these are
And the
countries you don't
semis.
really see them like in the yeah, of course. So it even makes it like even more. Yeah, I mean, boxing has changed. I mean, everybody wants to be able to, and that tells you why it is Olympic Games. Like the surprises. Look at the gymnastics, for instance. The American lady, like all of a sudden, has like a competitor, and I mean, the
Yeah.
Brazilian has put it in like, I mean, taking the gold medal. So, yeah, I mean, that's what the Olympics is about, and it's exciting, and it's something you guys can't take your eyes off. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be back, and we hope we have one African competing tomorrow, so we're going to throw our support behind it. Hopefully, she can get us the win, and yeah, we'll see how that one goes. And apart from I think after this next week, by next week, all of this will be over, and then we'll have like Olympic medals. We'll get to know who won what, right?
And who's going to be signed by Top Rank? They are always going for the Olympus.
Definitely the guys. It's always there that the Americans will be signed by top rank, but the rest don't get the opportunity. I mean that's what I say about world boxing. If you get opportunity to showcase your skill on the Olympics, do it. But once it's done, you make sure you make that effort to go to where the sports is happening to get your career underway. If you're going to sit in your own country and we don't have like the facilities and have people that can take you to the next level, yeah, you just be an Olympic champion and then that's it, or an Olympian and then that'll be it. And I think if you look at how it has always been, I would say is the guys that compete from, like for instance, the Kazakhstan and then the Ukrainians, they sort
Hmm.
of have a chance to break that that I would say that barrier, because somehow they are still in the European space, so they get the opportunity. And if not anybody,
Hmm.
at the end we'll put them on in the UK. For the Americans and the Mexicans, they are okay because whatever happens, Oscar de la Hoya and Bobaram will sort of get them on board and then yes, for them.
Hey,
And
hey, it may not be like that forever. Turkey is in the mix.
yeah, but if you look at if you look at the Asian side, at least we see that they are doing well a little bit, especially in Japan, right? But on the African side, yeah, you'll be a good fighter if you're not able to like cross over and go to either of these two places where the sport is. Like then your name will just be, oh, he was a four. Your name will only come up when there's another 4 years Olympic Games, and it'll go like, oh, the last person who won it is this guy, and then that's it. There's no like opportunity for your name to be mentioned in the room of where professional boxing or everything is. So my motivation or what I would say about this is that after going for the Olympic Games, and if it's boxing that you really want to do, you don't have to stay in the space for so long. You have to make a conscious decision to work with managers and promoters that are out there, and make an effort to go out there to be able to because for instance I was speaking to Atamura, like I always speak to him. We have a conversation. It always goes like the guys from Mozambique that competed over like in this year's like Olympics. It's something they were already getting them to Australia to go get their career on, and that's what we need to do, because if you say we want to sit in the African space, I mean, yeah, Doc will promote you, Alex Nchama will promote you in Ghana, and then that'll be it. If there's no opportunity for them to bring you closer to the next level, and you also allow for stupid decisions to be made in the process. I'm saying stupid decisions because usually some of the things that you hear that doesn't make the fighters go on are stupid decisions that they take in the process, around the team who they decide to work with, and then you get stuck in the process. And there are a lot of Olympians, Olympian or Olympic former Olympians who are in other African countries that have not been able to cross that bridge yet. So we really need to make a conscious decision after you are done with the Olympic Games. You know.
I was just gonna say that you're right. You can. I mean, we love our continent. We love it dearly. But if you go to if you have vision,
Mm-hmm.
um, you go to where the sport is grown and where you are going to make it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not like we want you to leave the motherland. Some of us have left the motherland, but we still love it dearly. So we are connected and we go back. If you want your boxing career to blossom, there are few examples of boxers who lived in Africa and were
yeah.
able to make it to the top. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about going to win a world title, stay in Africa, training and do it. There are only a few examples.
Only a few.
So you have to just with anything position yourself where
Yeah.
you get the best opportunity.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Right, 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 right. Guys, Doc, let me get your final words before we leave, because I'm about to close the curtains for today's event. I mean, your last words before we go.
Oh, I'm just saying that by the time we do this again, or Kofi, you come on, the Olympics would have been over. Me
Mm-hmm.
personally,
Mm-hmm.
it was I say it's a blessing and it was fun at the same time to be in the space.
Uh,
First time in France, first time in Paris. I have
mm,
toured, I have enjoyed just being the frenzy of the space of athletes, high level athletes people who love the sport, fans, being able to take, I should say, take care of Olympians. It's a blessing and it's a great opportunity, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We'll be going back to our routines next week. But in
Yeah.
all, I think that if there's anything I have learned from here,
Yeah.
you don't. If there's anything I've learned from here, you don't rest on your laurels. You cannot rest on your past glories,
Mm-hmm.
um, because even um, I forgot one of there are several big past medalists who
Mm.
were eliminated in the prelims, and
Yeah,
that
true.
goes to tell you that it's a new era of boxing. Competition is high, and the last thing I want to say, last thing I want to say, since most of our followers are predominantly Africans,
Mm.
the last thing I want to say is that it's not because where I am right now,
Mm.
somebody has already seen the vision. The
Mm-hmm.
future of Olympics boxing is world boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Make up your mind, do what you have to do if you want to go to the Olympics, African countries. Thank you, Kofi, very much.
All right, thank you, Doc, also for joining me today. I really appreciate your time, guys. Like we always say, I mean, this is a platform where we build to be able to share boxing with you, and so we really would like to, welcome you to, into our space so that we can both enjoy boxing together. So if this is the first time you're watching us, please go on our YouTube channel and go search us. It's the same name, K Sports Boxing on all the platforms, and subscribe to our channel. Go on our on Twitter, it's the same, or now X, same, K Sports Boxing. And follow us also on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on the Thread, follow us on all the social media platforms that comes to your mind. Just go on there, K Sports Boxing, and then follow us. And we will bring you all the sports updates and the fight schedules and all the fight news that is happening in the world of boxing. If you are in Africa and then there's any show going on and you want us to talk about, I would recommend that you can send it to us via DM, and then we'll definitely blog it or talk about it as well. Um, Yesterday, our team was in Aflao to do a fantastic job. On behalf of management, we want to send you guys like a big congratulations for getting the job done. We really appreciate everything that you guys are doing to make sure that this boxing lovers around the world also get to have a feel of African boxing. So that's how I close the curtains on today's event. On Friday, my colleague will be here with the African Boxing on Mask. He will talk to you about, I mean, boxing promotions or things in boxing in general that he thinks you guys need to know to be able to make African boxing like more lucrative to the world to watch. And I'll be back again on Monday with with another edition of the Monday Boxing Madness, where we'll discuss. I'm thinking we'll definitely discuss whether like Virgil Otis will win his fight or not, and we'll definitely be here to talk to you about that particular fight as well. Another fight that would have happened or will be happening on the card, and of course the things that I also would have been making news over the week. I'll be here to discuss those things with you as well. By next week, Olympics will be over, and we'll know which names will get gold, will get silver, or will get bronze. And we'll be here to bring you that particular analysis as well. Until then, guys, have a very good evening. Sleep well, or have a good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. We really appreciate your time. We'll do this thing again next week. Until then, have a very good evening. Bye.